Back for another one. You back for another one, Uncle Wayne. How you feel? How you feel? We here, man. We here, man. Yeah, 2023. Let's go.
I told you like that before. Between now and 2 years and BMore, a lot of tonight, we gotta get a moment of silence.
Yeah, man. BMore4Real. Come get your weekly dose of reality, man. Let's go ahead and get a moment of silence out the way really quickly.
For those who can't be here and not with us.
And yes, sir, you rocking live with us, man. Let's go, man. Yes, sir. BMore4Real. We appreciate each and every single viewer all the time, man. Mm-hmm. We definitely do. This is the last one of 2023. How you feeling, Uncle Wayne? How you feeling?
That is going to be the last one. And of course,
how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
We're going to change our set for the New Year's coming in. Y'all know y'all done talked about our set over and over. We know. But we're going to work on that. But we had to give you a good show before just a good set, or we're going to give you a good set and no show.
Yes, sir. Hey, Bobby. How you feeling, Bobby? Bobby with us already, man. We definitely appreciate all of our viewers, man. How you feeling, brother Bobby, man?
Bobby in the house.
Good to have you with us. Definitely a consistent viewer, man. We appreciate each and every single viewer every week, man. Come get your weekly dose of reality. It's BMore4Real. If you got a topic that you would like us to discuss, man, we have the BMore4Real at BMore4Real podcast at gmail.com. We're on Instagram as well. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All of it is BMore4Real. We all have the same handle, so definitely check us out. If you have any questions or comments you would like us to comment on, you're more than welcome to hit us there. Uncle Wayne, how are you, man? Let's go. Let's get it, man.
Listen.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Once again, I'm alive and I'm here, so there are no excuses.
Yep, we had that holiday weekend. It was Christmas and all of that,
Christmas,
man.
Though? Tell me about your
man.
Christmas,
let me just say,
I
don't do the celebrating on the holidays, but look, what I will say is that the Baltimore Ravens won. Lamar Jackson is that dude, man. He is that dude. That's good. Come on, man. Yes, sir. I had a beautiful time watching that.
Whenever we win, it's a beautiful time. Yeah. They gave him more love than they gave Jesus Christ.
Oh man, see.
Did you hear it?
Hey. It was Christmas night. I think everybody had their time to share with that.
What is Christmas, sir? What is Christmas?
To me, Christmas never began with Christ, but you know what I'm saying?
What did it begin with?
It began as Saturnalia. It's I believe it's a Greek practice. It's very excruciating. Actually, Christmas was banned in the United States in the year 1659 by the General Assembly of Massachusetts. It was then later reinstated in 1870 under President Ulysses S. Grant. But up until 1870, Christmas was banned in the United States of America, and for good reason. So I would encourage people, if you really don't know the true meaning, if you really don't know where it originated from, to do the research on that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And I'm just keeping it real.
That's one way. Let's do another simple version of it. God sent us a gift, and he sent it on Christmas. May not be December the 25th. We don't celebrate Martin Luther King birthday on the 15th of January, but we celebrate it on that Monday. So we got to celebrate the birth of Christ. That's the gift. If you don't accept the gift, you're in some serious trouble. That's all I'm going to say. You better accept the gift. The way
Well,
things going on in life
for
now.
me, for me, my focus is more so in the death, burial, and resurrection, and not so much the birth. So
We don't
you know,
celebrate that either.
that's that.
When is this? Listen, that if any a pagan holiday, that's a real one. They took the rising up of Christ and replaced it with an Easter bunny.
Yeah, well, see, I don't believe in Easter either,
But
and so that's what I
not
was
you.
saying. The origins of these things, you have to determine the origins.
Yeah,
Easter actually comes from the origin of the word Ishtar. Ishtar is the fertility goddess of fertility, and that's why they have the Easter bunny, which represents fertility.
crazy,
But bunnies don't even lay eggs. So this is the
crazy.
whole. That's the whole scheme behind that. Like, if we really knew the true meaning, I guess we would have a different outcome. But this is Beat More for real. We're gonna
For
keep it
real.
real with you.
We
And
gonna
all
teach
day.
you. We gonna teach you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With that being said, we might as well go ahead into this first topic, that we have.
Yeah.
Creating our own future. Start over if you have to. The whole purpose of this segment is because, a lot of people have New Year's resolutions and things like that. But, things
Perfect
go
topic for this about this time too.
right. Things go beyond the New Year's and whatever your resolution may be. It's kind of sort of like a marriage. I think a lot of people see marriages as just that day to have a wedding. Kind of sort of like you were saying, Uncle Wayne, they just see the wedding day, but they don't see the actual marriage. It's every day after that. You know what I'm saying? Every day that you have to put in work and deal with other people. The same is with creating our future. We have to be married to our goals. You understand what I'm saying? And not being afraid to start over. I think a lot of us we are scared of that change, and that's going to lead into the topic of the night as well. But I think a lot of us are scared of that change, to just start over and do right. Some change can be good, some change can be bad. But one thing that we can guarantee is that we can change for the better. We can be better than we were today, than we were yesterday.
Absolutely.
We can be better than we were next year, than we were this year. And as long as we see those progressions, those are the positive changes that we want to see.
Absolutely. Oh, brother. Oh.
Creating our own future. What say you, Uncle
But
Wayne?
it is. That's what it's really all about. And just like we talk about this new year coming in, if the year just came out in 2023, didn't work out better for you, this is what you don't do. You don't wait till the end of the year and put more expenses in the way of spending all this Christmas money. And then when the New Year's come in, you right back to square one, arguing and fussing about bills again. Do you understand? Try to get the year ahead better than the year that passed.
Right.
You kind of see, do better. That's all I'm saying. Think before you do things. Stop getting in debt. Stop getting stuff you don't need. Remember, I told it doesn't make any sense to have tennis shoes that you got 3-4 years ago and you still paying on them on a credit card that you got, and the shoes are played out, the style done changed, but you still getting the bill every month. And you look at it as because you paid about those tennis shoes that cost so much back then. Stop getting stuff we don't need. Honestly, get the stuff you need, and then when you spend money on other things, your year get better. I'm telling you. You might be able to keep some of them New Year promises that we make so much and never keep.
Right. Absolutely, man. And that's a real important thing. That's that's a real important thing. I mean, changing the directions and changing the dynamic of our circumstances will most certainly guarantee us a lot more success in the future. Also, consistency. I think a lot of people are losing hope, especially in America. People losing hope in politics. People lose hope in religion and medicine and schooling. People lose hope in all these different areas and aspect of life that has actually made us better. But I think, especially us living in America, we have been blessed with certain traumas and stuff that other people in the world are not in. And I think we really do have to recognize that. Oftentimes, every day we take that for granted. But I was watching a documentary. It might have been about an hour. It might have been 30 minutes. I can't remember, but it seemed like a long time. But what really reached home to me was the people of Burundi. The people of Burundi, which is a country in Africa, excuse me, they dubbed that as the poorest country in the world. And here you have these people who have to travel miles. They don't even worry about work. First and foremost, they don't worry about work, jobs, and all that stuff going out. They don't have cars. They walk miles, sometimes up to 12, 13, 14 hours a day just to get food and water and bring it back home so that their families can eat. And so when we look at, how we are in America, we so busy, we caught up doing this and that, we buying clothes and all this stuff. These people don't have adequate clothes, no adequate food, no adequate shelter, no adequate place to, defecate and use the bathroom. And it's just like, well, we are a lot more blessed than they are, and I think a lot of times we take that for granted, which is why we have to use the resources that we have now, that we've been given to us, that's been afforded here, and make it work for the best.
Well, that's interesting, but there's a flip side to that coin. You say we are better off than they are. Are we?
I think so.
Is it that we're better off than they are? Because if we're better off than they are, why doesn't it show?
Well, it does. I mean, they still
Where does it show that we're better
because
off?
they have a lot more people that die of starvation.
We have a lot more die as murders, as being murdered.
I mean, it's a different struggle, but to each his own.
Remember
To
the
each
question
his
I
own.
asked.
To each his
Remember,
own.
I'm older, asking younger now.
Right.
Remember.
To each his own. To each his own.
So over here, are they better? Are we better off than they are?
Absolutely, 100%,
Tell
without a
me
doubt.
where.
Without a doubt. I would say food, water, shelter, everything that I just named. We have the internet and all that stuff. They don't even have that. They don't have proper electricity.
But we got the poorest country ever.
And,
the United
States is the richest. And we also have a comment by brother Bobby. He said, "You have to follow your heart and take a leap of faith for change. Follow your passion, and for your passion, you will work harder than ever to achieve your goals. It takes sacrifice." And we're gonna go ahead and clap that up for you, brother Bobby. We appreciate that, man. For sure. We appreciate that for sure. And that's what I want to say, man. Basically, we gotta wake up out this dream that they have us in, man. They really have us in this box, right? And a lot of times they call it the Matrix, you know what I'm saying? And the Matrix, and the crazy thing about the Matrix is if you listen to it and you feed into it, you're gonna get stuck in that trap. You understand what I'm saying? But we gotta learn to differentiate between the positive change to where we need to be the best version of ourselves, and the changes that where we want to revert back to the old ways, where people force us to be like, yo, I'm about to go back to the old me, because there's a lot of circumstances that's pushing us to be like, yo, I'm about to go back to the old me. But the thing is, you can't go back to your old self. We don't go backwards like that. You know what I'm saying? We may have to show people that, you know what I'm saying, I'm still about it, but that's not going back to your old ways. That's you still standing on business. We gotta not be. We gotta be more conscientious of what we're feeding ourselves and what we're feeding into. Is the point of what I'm saying.
Right, but look, you see the difference of the age group here. I'm like this. You are who you are. Like if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna go back to my old ways," like you said, that's your old ways. That's your ways. You know, it ain't no old ways, because if you change, you change. If
Right.
you haven't, you haven't. And
Right.
that's why I say, listen, between that country and over here, if we are better off over here, why we don't act like it? Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I'm pushing the button with you. Are we better off?
It's a simple answer to that.
And if we are, why don't we act like
It's a simple answer to that.
Yeah,
And that's what I was talking about, entitlement. We have a lot of people who are entitled, which is why Americans don't know that, a lot of times we go abroad, people don't like Americans because Americans are so entitled. The way that people run their other countries and stuff like that, they don't run it like America. You're not privy to all of these resources and stuff like that. 1 second as well too, brother Coolro. He commented, appreciate all the commenters, appreciate all the streams, man. He said, what do you think the root cause is of some of these issues? And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about as well too. Appreciate you, brother Kuro. The root cause is that people are entitled. A lot of Americans, period, are entitled because we're privy to all the access that we have today. Like I was telling you, the internet, we have a wealth and a vast knowledge just off of Google alone. Forget YouTube, forget Facebook, forget all of that stuff. Just off of Google alone, you know what I'm saying? There is a plethora and a wealth of knowledge just to be had off of that one site. So when you're talking about electricity, cars, we have the ability. So mind you, I told you, them people in Burundi, they travel 12 hours to maybe get about 6, 7, 10 miles, 20 miles tops, and then go back home. You know what I'm saying? 10, 20 miles. We can travel that in 10, 20 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? We can get literally across the country in the same day, in a few hours, like 5 hours, 6 hours, or whatever it takes to get from East Coast to West Coast, from Maryland to California. You know what I'm saying? It's just the resources that we have is much more abundant than they have, and that's what I say.
And I
It's true.
understand that you say that, but once again, I'm older. What has it gotten us? Watch this. This is why I'm trying to teach you all younger so you can teach your children so they can stop stealing cars, so they can find something else better to do with themselves. We're not teaching you all something, so y'all not teaching them. Let me explain to you why. This is where our problem go at. Everything is fast for you all. Like I told you, when we were growing up, we had to take the phone and dial a number, and it comes back around. I lie. And
The
if we
rotary
miss
dial.
one number, we got to go all the way back for the first number again. It slowed us down. It made us think. It made us challenge. With you all, everything is fast. Fast food, fast cars, instant this, instant gratification. That's why a perk will take somebody out here, because that instant gratification just changes them. And that's what all of you want. You want it all instantly. You want it now. You want it fast. So what I'm saying, with the things we have over here, are they better? Over there, they don't have that. See how it takes time for them to travel. So by the time they travel and walk, I bet you they talking and getting to know each other. You get what I'm saying? We might say, "Oh, you crazy?" And they walking, but they have a whole different way of living. They have slowed down.
But
So are we better off with
I
all
would
these
say
extra
absolutely.
things?
I would still double and triple and quadruple down and excuse me, say absolutely.
You
I would
still
say
want that
absolutely.
fast car to get there as fast as you can. You want that instant
Yeah,
money and instant
because to
gratification.
live life and the struggle like that, like
Who said
you would
it's a
just
struggle
they
though?
they will tell you
If they're
themselves.
accustomed to it, so maybe it's not a struggle to them. If
They
they're
will tell you
used
themselves.
to it, how would they tell you themselves? Remember, you said that's what somebody got from them.
No, they were
So-
in Burundi. You have people that go to these countries now and they put it on video, and you can see exactly how these people live in real time. And see, the thing is that
And bring them over here and they'll do better in all this mess.
they will, and they do, and they do. Given the circumstances, they absolutely do. So if you look at the statistics and government politics and stuff like that, the laws do help those individuals who do come under those circumstances a lot of times more than they help the people that are inside of America. And that's another thing that's wrong with us, just the pure ignorance. I mean, people are so busy being entertained that the education level has sank. I mean, our attention level. And that's what I was saying. A part of the reason of being conscious, part of the, not reason, but part of the definition of being conscious is to be aware of what's going on around you.
Exactly.
That's what it means to literally be awake. You're literally aware of
sense.
your surroundings. That's what makes you conscious. So I think a lot of people, although they think that they are existing and living, I think that these people are unconscious in the fact that they are oblivious to what is going on around them.
Well, what are the solutions? Let's flip this other side. An argument, but coming from me that's retiring at an age, you all are running into a brick wall. You all, because when you can't have your way, you scream and yell and cry and complain because you can't get it right then and there. And sometimes you gotta wait on God. God tell you patience. But when you have no patience, you want it all now and then. Sometimes when you jump, you're not ready.
Right.
You see?
Well, I mean,
slow down.
That is a huge problem with our generation. A lot of times our generation as well, we have been raised by the TV. So, I mean, this is BMore4Real. You know, we're going to be more for real. So, look, a lot of times we have been raised by the TV. The circumstances, and I've seen this a while ago, years and years ago, the circumstances in which we're raised on, including family values, have came from shows like the Huxtables. You understand what I'm saying? And Family Matters. Like that's the type of situations where we grew up on understanding how family's supposed to communicate. Now the problem with that is that if we're learning through entertainment, and as I said on the other show, art imitates life and life imitates art. The only thing that's a problem there, which is not too much of a problem when you have an equal balance, is there is no definite line of reality. So when you blur the lines between art and reality, you got a lot of these people walking around here delusional the way that they do. They walk around here like they living in GTA. They walking around here like they living life like they on The Sims or something. But really, this is real life. This is not the movies. But we want to. This is not the rap videos. You know what I'm saying? This is not that.
This
And even
is
reality TV is not really reality
reality
TV because
TV,
the cameras
right?
are on right there,
There you
and they
go.
have to make money. So I mean, we are getting so caught up and wrapped up in this entertainment. Is the Matrix, seriously?
And you said it well. See, this is why I'm on you all so hard, because it's time for you all to take control. Because if you all take control the way that it is now, we're gonna be in a world war in no time flat. Y'all so easy to quick to temper the rise. You don't like a challenge. How dare somebody challenge you? You're gonna kill them if somebody challenge you. Instead of a challenge will get you at another level to teach you. So you all have to be challenged. You got to slow down and take some time and learn some things. If you get it wrong, find out where you failed at so you can get it right the next time. Don't destroy what you got wrong or you'll never learn from it.
Right.
You
And
see?
and that's what I was talking about too. We're gonna go ahead and clap.
Come on, y'all.
That's what I was talking
Got a
about as
long
well.
ways to go. A long ways to go.
That's what I was talking about as well. You know, it's the glitz and glamour of what we see on a daily basis of what's
Yeah.
being forced to us, where we get this instant gratification
Instant.
attitude. People haven't always had that attitude, and it's not just this generation now. It's people in the older class as well too. Like I said, even a lot of people that went into the elder years now, and they haven't truly discovered who they are because they came up watching the TV, they came up watching the glitz and glam, and they seen it in real life, and they like, well, if you can do it, I can do it too, which is good. That is a great mindset to have. That's not good. That's a great mindset to have.
They're
Yes,
old fools.
yes, you can
They're
achieve
old
it, but
fools.
see the
They are
thing.
my age group. If you haven't learned, you are an old fool.
See,
You are.
what we
When
see
you don't
though,
learn, you can't teach like that. If you older, you know better. You should have learned better. If you older and you're teaching that, you an old fool.
see what we
Because
see
how
though.
will we teach you all that if we acting that way at an age as elderly?
Well,
Elderly, you should have learned.
what we see though, and see this is what we have to learn. This is the American dream. America sells these people these dreams. This is part of the American dream. This is a part of the great hope. This is the reason why people travel across seas and seek refuge from their home countries to come here. So this is what they. This is the dream of their soul. Let's be more for real about that. But what I'm saying is that um a lot of times is that people don't realize what we see. Basically, let me sum it up. Basically, what we see is the outcome, but we don't see the input. You know what I'm saying? We see that their outcome is income, but we don't see the input that it took to get that outcome. Did you hear what I just said? So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the times we see the output, but we don't see the input. We see that their output, we see that their output is income, but we don't see the input it took to get that outcome. We don't see the input that it takes to get that outcome. So I think a lot of the times people are trying to start at the top. Just like I was saying, people want to start at the top instead of, you know what I'm saying, building and taking those old folks quotes like we were talking about in a few episodes ago. We take those old quotes, folks. Rome wasn't built overnight, which means you got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? We just so scared to start over, and that's the whole point and the purpose of this of the segment. You know what I'm saying? We have to create our future, and we can't be afraid to start over. But we just need that consistency, and we need to be real about our circumstances. Come on, man, let's be real. And we gonna do that, man. This is a new season, man. Man, for real, we got some. Brother Azrael said 100, man. He's saying bars, man. It's real bars out here. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the viewers. For sure. We're gonna go ahead and clap it up for our viewers and everything as well too. Because you know this BMore4Real, we gotta state the facts over here, man. We gotta really state the facts. A lot of times things are being censored out here. This is the end of the year wrap up. So one of the things that I learned is that things are being more and more censored because people are becoming more and more sensitive to things, but we're not becoming sensitive to the most important things. Especially in a city like Baltimore, we see people get murdered, shot, and we're not sensitive about that, but we're sensitive if somebody say, oh, well, black people lazy, and it seems like black men are lazy and they always keep going to jail. Like, come on, man. Come on. We got to stop the foolishness. And
the truth hurts.
If that hurts your feelings and us being gunned down by each other every single night and being shot by each other every single night, if that don't piss you off, something is wrong with your way of thinking. We got to change our way of thinking so we can start changing our dynamics.
Imagine if this would have happened to any other race. Let's watch this. Let me give you a prime example. Go across Northern Parkway and let one or more of those Jews get shot and killed up there.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have never make it to no close to no 300 a year.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even had it. That would have never happened. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it's happened to us. It becomes the norm. And listen, everything happens because you allow it. When we keep doing what we doing out here, and our children all upset, fighting and arguing and fussing, and we got our grown men in the cop line, you see, this is where our problem coming. And then we got our women doing most of the work. And then when the women come and attack us and come back and let us know that we need to get ourselves together, then we got the nerve to put our hands on them. This is why our race is the way it is. These things need to change. We have to control our own dynamics, but we don't. But it's time to start this, because not another year where it's close to 300, any of us going to get killed anymore. You understand? People do to you what you allow. That instant gratification and thinking everything is going to be all right so soon. It's a challenge in life. And one more time, some of my best friends I fought when we were young. No lie. We had to fight. We became best friends. How you are doing it now, and we allow you carrying a gun, then you get in an argument with somebody you don't like, and the first thing you can do, pull out a gun and shoot them. Do you get
Right.
what I'm saying? You never get a chance to be best friends. And not only that, the family that you're friends with, remember when you were together, that family loved you too. Think. We gotta stop this. It's happening to us. That's why people are not involved, because they don't think we love each other. They think when one of us die, it's a number. You'll never see our name and what we do, and people love us on there. Look at Fox 45. We become a number. We're a number. So and so and got shot in the city, and then they move right on. You know, we love each other. We have to act like we love each other. You understand?
Let's go. Let's get it. And that brings us to our topic of the night.
Damn.
Man, we're gonna get into it, man. Are you afraid of change? And I know this is what people will probably click on really to see, man. This is a really this is ultra important, uber important to talk about, because the change is what is always needed. And remember, remember, a lot of times people don't change unless they feel uncomfortable. But
they don't change then either.
But my whole premise and my whole thing about that is being afraid of change. There's also a word for that. You know how people say, if you don't like homosexuals, you homophobia. You don't like water, it's like if you don't like spiders, it's arachnophobia. You know, all these phobias. There's actually a word for being afraid of change, and a lot of times people don't realize is that
I know a word for it.
There are many people that deal with being afraid of change. But that word that we're talking about for being afraid of change is metathesophobia. Metathesophobia.
Oh, wow.
And it's another word for it also, because English has to be complicated. It's called tropophobia, which is the fear of making changes. We can sum it up to the fear of making changes.
Wow.
When we get down to it. When we get down to it, and you got to get down to the English and where does it come from, the derivatives. It's a late Latin word, ancient Greek word, which meta. Now, Facebook has been turned to meta. We ain't going to talk about that, but meta, remember, Facebook is called meta. Meta comes from the Greek word, which means among. And then you have meta means among, and thesis is just a placement. Where do you stand at on it's just where you stand at in terms of your thought process and your course of thinking. And of course, the phobia is a fear of. So now when you get into it, metathesophobia is basically the fear of being among a certain placement in your mind, being strong in the mind. And a lot of people deal with that because we are afraid of change. And they actually have a scientific definition for that. And it was awesome and fascinating just to realize that, it's common amongst the folks. So you're not the only one that's afraid of change. We are all afraid of change. If we wasn't afraid of change, then of course we would have made something happen by now in our stances and our circumstances within life and our future. That's just a fact.
I really didn't know it was a terminology for. I really didn't.
Right, but the question still remains: are you afraid of change? You got to really ask yourself that, because this is something that's important. There are a lot of changes coming, and we have to adapt. And we were already talking about change, and we were already talking about creating our future. And this goes hand in hand with changing and creating our future. Because a lot of times this world is changing, the way technology is evolving, the way all this stuff. If you don't adapt to the times, even stuff like your businesses will fail. An example of that would have been what was that? Nokia, right? They had a good phone, quality, durable phone, but they refused to get with the smartphone and all that all those times, and they wind up getting left behind. Now nobody has Nokia, and that was Nokia's fault for being stubborn or not changing. Some changes are good to have because sometimes changes infringe upon integrity. But that's the difference that we have to make as adults, as people, as thinking people, not just as adults,
Yeah.
children, teenagers,
Sure.
those that are becoming of age. We have to think on, what I'm saying, the difference between changing for the better and also overstepping our integrity.
Very good. Very good, sir. Absolutely. Listen, let me explain something to you. As an older one is, it's time for a change. Just like these politicians, we keep voting them in, and we get the same thing. And it is enough of us to make a difference. It really is. But we can't keep living like this. This makes no sense at all. Talk about a change. And we afraid. You know what they said? Well, how can we put Uncle Wayne in there? He can't do that. But you understand, I make white companies millions. It's time to make us millions.
Mm.
You see the difference?
Time. It's time for a change.
And it's our turn.
One thing that we need to be more for real about if we want to make some changes is our thought process towards one another. Now one thing I'm sure, I'm ultra sure about, is that other cultures of people which black people really hate being compared to, other cultures of people, they take pride in what they do as a people. They do things as a people. This is how European people were able to come over not only to this country, but North America, South America, and to the Africas, and they were able to conquer those lands, and they're proud of what they done. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everything that they did was good, but what I'm saying is they take pride in what they do as a people. It seems like us as black people, and the world too, it seems like it's almost taboo for us to be, great and feel great about things that black people did, and things about that black people do. We have to learn to be more for real about our circumstances and surroundings so that we can learn to grow as a people. You know what I'm saying? There are things in this world that black people are totally dominant at, and there are things that white people are totally dominant at. I mean, that's where we at in terms of reality. But I mean, for one thing, horse jockey, and a lot of sports that black people don't particularly participate in. Skydiving.
That's because we listen.
But
that's because we don't participate.
It's not us though. It's not in us to do those type of activities
especially
as well.
riding horses.
Yeah. We ride horses, but we don't.
We may leave some things up to them, like rock climbing.
Like, all right, for instance, black people. A lot of people don't know black people. A lot of black people don't particularly like zoos. The only interest that you get in zoos is as a child, but a lot of black people are not fans of zoos.
You know why?
So, and see, another one that people don't realize is black people are not a fan of drinking out of cans. Black people use straws. So that's another interesting fact that remains out there. So there's certain things and certain dynamics, like, if you knew this information, you will be able to grow. Let's say you was a white person, you were trying to get more black clients and stuff like that in your business, and you didn't know black people like napkins and straws and stuff like that, and to actually have soap in the bathroom. So then, you know what I'm saying, it'd be more inviting for the other guests. It's the same thing for black people. If you want white people to join your side, it'd be incumbent upon us to do some things that are inviting the white people. But we have to learn how to also get some thick skin and tough up some things. There's some things it's some areas that we got to work in and work on, especially as a people and as an individual. We just don't like to be called out on our shit. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. We don't like being called out on our shit. But how are we going to address the problem and better ourselves if we refuse to acknowledge the shit that we cause and the shit that we in?
All makes sense. But let me ask you this question. This is the part that I find fascinating. Whenever white folks had to make any sacrifices for us, this is the part that I've always never quite understood. What made them more important than us. Now, listen, I'm grown now. Let's the slavery, all that stuff. Oh, let's in today's terms, not
Mm-hmm.
back then. We're on that right now. Then they are no more important than I am no more important than them. They are no more important to me, right? Hey, I
Mm-hmm.
even got white blood in me. One of my grandparents white, so
Right.
I know that it's not. But when I never ever seen where white folks have to make preparations, sacrifices to please us. It's always been us have to please them. It always our parents told us we had to do this around them, do this or this. They even told us as young black men how to act when police stopped us. When I think it should have been the other way around. Me as a black man, I
Mm-hmm.
think I need to tell the police when you pull one of us over, you better know how to act when you pull us over. That's the thing, not how we supposed to act when you pull us over. That don't quite make sense. When we done nothing to you and you pull us over for nothing, we gotta act a certain way. That's unfair. And when
Mm.
we get taught that over and over, it's unfair. So whenever I've seen them make preparations and sacrifices for us, when and where. So did I miss anything along the way? So if we had to
That's a
make
good
them for
question.
us, then they need to make them for
That's a
us.
good
Same
question.
difference. Fair is fair, right?
I believe individual white people have came forth, and individual white people come forth all the time exposing, white supremacy and stuff like that. It's just that the majority they haven't done it as a people. And then see, the issue with that is that, if and I'm just keeping it real. If they would acknowledge all of the things as a people, what they did as slavery, they would have to give a lot of things back that they done built off of the backs of slavery, including banking and certain institutions like that, what had to be given back to black people. So I mean, a lot of the acknowledgement would demolish the privileges that they have bestowed upon themselves in this country. And for those people that don't like to acknowledge white privilege and all that other stuff, these are the people that are in delusion, and these are the people that's not helping progressing. And it's not just white people that don't think slavery exists. You have full grown adult black men and women who choose not to acknowledge the oppression that our ancestors have been through, and they are the quintessential pull yourself up by the bootstrap type people. Which that mentality is fine if it's a time and a place for everything. But when you're talking about as a group of people, and we've had a 400-year. They have had a 400-year head start. I mean, there are a lot. It's a lot of handicaps out there. You know what I'm saying? So in order to even the playing field, I think white people as a whole would need to agree on that. But as you can see, they refuse to agree on that, which is fine and dandy because we shouldn't be relying upon them anyway. My thing is to use
Why are
use
we
the
waiting for them?
use the law and the system for what it's used for. Vote our officials in there so that they make sure that our plans will be done. They'll make sure that we get represented, because just like you brought up, you don't see unarmed Jewish people being shot down the streets of America. You don't see unarmed Chinese people being shot down the streets of America.
Nowhere.
It's just poor blacks, whites, and Latinos, the people that don't have enough power
Rich
to
blacks
back
get shot too, don't matter.
to back
Blacks,
their people.
period.
Yeah, blacks, period. And see, that's what I'm saying
Rich.
too. I mean, if we be more
Don't
for real,
matter.
they shoot the white people too. They shoot the poor white trashes. They do that all the same, and that's the whole messed up portion about it. That's the whole messed up portion about it, because they do definitely kill their own people too. And that's the thing. That's why I was saying, if we was in power, I doubt we would do our own people like that. And I seriously doubt
The
that.
right ones in
Yeah.
power. Listen, we've had black folks in power. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I stand up. It's like I got a lot of brothers, and not every brother I think will be a good president. I got brothers that I think would be a good president. So the president we got just didn't look out for us. Sorry, look what the situation we in. He was there 2 terms.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, look what Trump did for rich. If we got a little bit of that for blacks, for the president was black, and people say, no, the president can't be up for blacks if he stand for blacks. But Trump stood up for rich. He was in there for rich. And when Hillary got in there, she was all for women. She kept saying when she get in, she's going to do this for the woman. She's going to do this for the woman. She's going to do the woman. But when Barack Obama up there, I never seen him stand up and say what he's going to do for the black man, for the black family, for the black anything. You get what I'm saying? So we need the right black folks up in there, not
Absolutely.
just because you're black.
Absolutely, and that's why it's this is titled "Are You Afraid of Change?" Because at the end of the day, there are people that's making strides to change the dynamics of what we're living in. I mean, even those uncomfortable conversations that we need to have as race against race, as cultures against cultures, because it's not just black against white. It's just that's the predominant view. But America has Native Americans. It has Asian people here. You have South Island Pacificas and things of that nature. It's just this is the dynamic that's perpetuated in front of us. And much like you were saying with the what is it, with the Fox News and stuff like that, the Fox News and these programs are controlling the dynamics because right now we just think Brandon Scott and Sheila Dixon are the only ones that's running for mayor in Baltimore City. That's not the case. You have plenty more candidates that's on the ballot, but they refuse to report these people. So this is why it's important for us to take back our image, to not have the media control our image. If we got to put the stuff out there ourselves, well, goddamn it, we're gonna put the information out there ourselves. It might not look like Fox 45, it might not look like WJZ, it might not look like ABC, but we're gonna put it out there to the best of our knowledge because they won't. What they are doing is they feeding us people to represent us that we didn't even elect. We didn't even ask for these people. They gave us the choice between this person and that person. When do we set ourselves up as a people and say, no, we got this person we want to get up there. Make sure you put him in office. That's what I was talking about with the APAC. If you don't understand, that's how the Jewish people get all their laws passed. They get people, they got millions of dollars. They fund these people with lobbyists and all that stuff. They go in there on their behalf. And if you don't represent their views, you won't get elected. Let's just put it like that because they withdrawing their funds. So let's be more real about our circumstances and our conditions, change. Man. It's time for
our way. It's a change. Like, no, we can't do it like that. Stop doing it like that. Do it our way. That's what a change is. Mm-hmm. Get it? When we start doing it our way, that's the change. Stop trying to do it their way. That's why we fail. And when we do it our way, see, we lead for a change. Mm-hmm. We have to be the leaders of our own domain. Mm-hmm.
So, as the question, because it just came to my mind too. Are we afraid of change? Hold on, before I do that, I'm sorry. I see a comment by Brother Azrael. He said, we can't respond emotionally. We gotta fix the problems. And we appreciate you, Brother Azrael. Sorry. We appreciate all our comments and viewers. But that goes perfectly into what I'm saying as well. See, are we afraid of change? And the reason why I ask that is because it seems like even when I tell people and when other people say it, it sounds cringy. It becomes cringy when you say, look, we got the power to change government. We can get these mother suckers out of here and we can create our own freaking government the way that we want to create our government. But if you tell the people that, people gonna look at you like you crazy. They're gonna say, oh, well, you just talking about it. Oh, well, look, it starts with the conversation. So first of all, those people that say, oh, I want to have people around that do more than just talk about it. Well, listen, you unlearned person. What I would like to learn you about today is that it starts with the conversation. It starts with the education. Absolutely. And bringing it to the forefront and the attention of the people that this is the problem. So without the education, without the need to educate and notify the people, there would be no way to fix the problem. And that goes along with any problem that you have. And the perfect way to put that is that if you were being shot or stabbed and you refuse to address that exact wound, that exact place where you got shot or stabbed at, you'll bleed to death. But we as the people, we choose to acknowledge, okay, racism exists. We don't do nothing about it. We bleeding to death because we can't come together on the most important things. We can't make the most important decisions because we bleeding out from that wound. We got to start repairing ourselves from the inside out. Real talk, man. Real talk. From the inside out. So, like I was saying, people are afraid of change nonetheless. And so the problem with change is that it makes us feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And it's one person that sticks their neck out on behalf of everybody else. And see, that person turns out to be made to look like a fool, or they wind up being assassinated because this is what they do. Look at John F. Kennedy. He's the president. You know what I'm saying? John F. Kennedy wasn't the only one to be assassinated. It was Abraham Lincoln. You had two other presidents. There was actually a total of 4 presidents that was assassinated. Look at the correlation between these people. You know what I'm saying? White, black, it does not matter. One thing is for certain, all these politics and stuff like that, to me, is being controlled by a particular group of people. We don't control it the way that they give us the illusion of the politics. We under the illusion that if we vote and we got this person, that things will change, but there are no changes being made. We have to start being a change that we want to see,
Yes,
and we can't be afraid of change, because change does seem scary, man. It does. But trust and believe. Change is coming whether you want it to or
Yes,
not. It's just a matter
absolutely.
if you're going to adapt to it or not.
Yes.
And that's what we doing. We adapting to it, because whatever comes our way, we're going to roll with the punches. And we going to still make it for the better of ourselves. You know, it's a Bible verse that say all things work for the good of them who are called, for them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So we know that we're going to go through certain things, certain ups and downs, but eventually the test will become your testimony.
Ooh. And the testimony become your power, y'all.
Yes, sir.
You know, man?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good.
Yes, sir. So we got to be aware of our surroundings, man. It's time for a change, and we got to adapt to the times. Even though these times are changing and all that stuff, we got to keep integrity as well. We got to find a balance between the two. It's like we have no backbone. We getting dragged by this way, that way. We letting the media portray our perception. One thing
Certain
here about the
media,
Be More
yes.
for Real, we don't care about no media
Nope.
or anything. We're going to keep it real regardless with you. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Keep it live. This is the realest. This is your weekly dose of reality every time, man.
Absolutely.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe, by the way. Tell your friend, tell your cousin, tell your cousin, tell your mother, tell the mother, tell the brother. But yeah, man, make sure you do that for us, because we make sure that we bring people the truth. We make sure we make people aware, because while people are being fed this delusion like everything is all peaches and cream, sunshine and roses, it's really not. We here to uplift you, motivate you, going in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Some things that we say will not be, it's not made for you to feel comfortable, because there will be no change if you were comfortable. People that are comfortable do not change. They become what do you call that when people are comfortable? They become complacent. That's the word for it. They become complacent.
Old fools.
When they are comfortable, they become complacent. But there's no
Old
change
fool.
unless you're uncomfortable.
I got to keep hitting them. It's
Them
old
old,
fool.
the old person quote, man, for real. Let's back it up. But I mean, this is the realest conversation. This is the realest conversation on the planet. What we don't have is white people. But I know it got to be some white people somewhere that listen to this. We got to have their side of the view. We got to have the woman's side of the view. We don't just want to have our side of the view and that be it and that be all. And that's why any and all opinions are respected. And that's why you see here that the mic is always open. So if you have anything that you would like to say, definitely comment and let us know, man.
Hey, listen. We had white people help build this show.
Yeah,
Come on,
man.
Now.
Seriously.
Let's give my brother his credit.
Let's do
So
that.
we had all kind of ones to help out. And listen, we're not against anyone. It's never, we didn't once say we're against one simple person.
Not at all.
Listen, you see my people, Facebook and all, I love it all. It's not saying that. The point is, when something is unbalanced and we want to even the playing field, that's what we're going to do.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
So, even the playing field.
That's exactly what
So
we're
when
going
it
to do.
say may the best man win, we mean it for real. You
Be
understand?
more for real. Be more
Be
for
more
real, man. We is
for
in
real.
here, man.
Yes.
Man, this the last episode of the year, you know what I'm saying, of
Yeah.
this year that they
Yeah.
call 2023.
Oh, plus, I got to jump in here real quick. Listen, this is what we're going to do, too. Remember, the next month, we're going to have the candidates, the other candidates, too, for mayor, to come on, and we're going to give them a fair chance to show and tell Be More what they're about. And remember, when we bring them up here, they'll be more for real.
They'll be more for real. I'm glad you brought that up too. I'm glad you brought that up too, because we have to know who else is running for mayor. Because right now the people only know Sheila Dixon and Brandon Scott is running for re-election as well. What people don't know is there are other mayoral candidates that are on the ballot that they don't want you to know about, because they keep funneling us these same people. We're here to once again change the narrative. We're not perfect. Of course, we're not perfect. When we come out and we do these things, we're subject to people digging up our past and digging up our bones. That's in our closet, like they ain't got none of their own and things like that. You're gonna be subject to scrutiny. But one thing we will do is we'll control our own image. We'll control our own narrative. If there's something to be said, we're gonna say it ourselves. We're gonna address it ourselves because we don't deal with the media the way these people deal with the media. We're not sellouts. You know what I'm saying? We're not giving in to the structure and the powers that be right now, and we will never do that as well. And that's why we chose to, you know what I'm saying, have our own production and have our own media and doing what we're doing now. If it were not so, we would have joined another station. We'd have joined that Fox 45 and all of them with their campaign, and we'd have got rolling with that. But you know, the Most High chose a different plan for us. You know what I'm saying? It's a different plan for us. It's a different route. It might be harder. The road might be longer. The hills might be a little steeper, but guess what? We're gonna still climb. And the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. You already know. You already know. So, I mean, it's BMore4Real, man. We do this, man. Weekly dose of reality, man. Each and every single Wednesday, man. I can't even believe it's episode number 28, man. I know y'all had y'all Christmas time, y'all party time, y'all holiday time, but make sure y'all come party with us each and every single Wednesday, man. Y'all know we going up, and if you would like to support us, we also do have a Cash App as well. BMore4Real production. This stuff does cost money to run, so if you would like to see more content, please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Join us on YouTube. Join us on Facebook. Join us on email us on Google, BMore4Real podcast at gmail.com. All your questions, comments, and concerns, we would definitely like to hear from you. You know, what's your closing statement?
And don't talk about our set anymore. I told you next year we getting a new set. I know we like the compliments on the show. So keep on.
Man, help us get a new set, man. We spend our hard-earned money. We work. So we get a donation. That's what we do. That's what we do. We make sure we funnel that back to the people.
Just keep watching.
Because you know, it's BMore4Real. One thing that we do have to do as well, and I think like that's taboo. It's seen as taboo from Black people, especially when you talk about it on a national stage or in public. It's like to have Black people support other Black people, especially small businesses, to keep the dollar circulating. It's like frowned upon. We have to change that stigma. Get your dollar. Look, we went on one of our early episodes and already gave you the proof. We showed you that the Black dollar lasts in the Black community for a total of 6 hours. The next closest is the white dollar. The white dollar takes about 21 days or something like that. And the longest surviving dollar in the community is the Asian dollar. It lasts a whopping 33 to 35 days in the household before one single dollar leaves their community. So these are the stigmas that we need to change and stuff like that. Us looking out for our people, us being happy about our people, we should be goddamn glad that we doing some shit like that because it's about goddamn time, and let's be BMore4Real about it.
BMore4Real.
Let's be BMore4Real about it. You know this is the realest conversation on the net. It's the realest conversation on the net. So why don't you like, share, and subscribe? What's the problem? Go ahead, like the stream, make your comments known. We love y'all, man. For real, man. Uncle Wayne, what say you, Uncle Wayne?
Hey, listen, I just appreciate y'all for spending time with us for 2023. I'm looking forward to that personal time in 2024. Hey, listen. People say I can chew gum and walk at the same time, so I'm running for mayor, and I'm going to give you a hell of a show, all in 2024. So join me, y'all. I'm Uncle Wayne.
Join me and Uncle Wayne, man. This your co-host, OMG Danny, man. We appreciate all of our viewers. Like, share, subscribe to the screen. Man, you already know, man. We appreciate you guys. Have a happy new year. Hope you guys have happy holidays.
Absolutely.
Go Ravens. We out.